All right, let's just jump right in. We're all drowning in AI, right? It writes our emails, our code. It's just stunningly fluent. But what if that fluency is actually a trap? That's what we're digging into today. We're looking at this really radical approach to AI alignment. It's called the Berkano Protocol, and it was all kicked off by its analysis of a concept from a Dr. Leon Zvozman. And here's the thing, this isn't about making AI sound more human, it's about engineering it to be provably, verifiably true.
Yeah, this really hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Fluency mistaken for intelligence. You've seen it. An AI spits out this perfectly worded, eloquent paragraph, and our brains just go, wow, that's smart. We can't help it. We equate that polish with correctness. But, and this is the key, that's an incredibly dangerous assumption to make.
And this is what happens when we fall for it. You know, we call it hallucination, but it's not really a bug. It's kind of baked into the core of how these models work. See, they're not designed to be truthful. They're designed to be plausible. So they'll just make stuff up, invent facts, cite sources that don't exist. And the scary part is they'll do it with this absolute, unshakable confidence. That's what makes it so hard to spot.
Okay, and this brings us to a really specific term from the source material, and I think it's brilliant. The trap of expression. This is the core problem. It's that state where there's just so much AI-generated content and it's all so well written that we're completely overwhelmed. We literally can't check it all. We get so impressed by how something is said that we just completely forget to ask the most important question. Is it even true?
So, the big question is, how do you get out of that trap? Well, that's where the Berkano Protocol comes in. And it's proposing a completely different endgame for AI. It's not about simulating a better conversation partner. Nope. It's all about building a system that enforces structural, verifiable truth right from the very foundation.
And this lays it out perfectly. It's a total paradigm shift. Look at conventional AI on the left. Its whole goal is just to simulate human conversation, right? It does that by basically predicting the next most likely word in a sentence. We trust it based on, a vibe. Does it feel right? Now look at Berkano. The goal isn't conversation, it's structural truth. The method isn't prediction, it's creating auditable logic chains. And trust, it's not based on a vibe. It's based only on cold, hard, verifiable evidence.
So how does it actually enforce this? Well, it starts by throwing out a lot of things we rely on, like authority or consensus. It doesn't care who said something or how many people agree with it. Instead, every single piece of information has to run this gauntlet. Every claim needs an evidence chain. You have to show your work. Then it gets tested for contradictions with a check module, it undergoes recursive verification, and it even faces adversarial audits. It's a system built entirely on proof, not unbelief.
Okay, so that's the theory. But what does this actually look like in practice? Let's get into the toolkit. Let's see how this protocol takes the raw, messy chaos of human input and somehow turns it into clean, structured coherence.
And when I say chaotic, I mean really chaotic. So this is a direct quote from an actual operator prompt found in the source documents. It's just raw emotion, profanity, commands, the whole 9 yards. This is exactly the kind of stuff the system is designed to take in without even flinching. This is the noise it's built to filter. Okay, now look at this. This is the magic. This is how the protocol translates that chaos. It's the exact same event, but it's instantly reframed into this calm, structured, auditable record. That raw anger from before, it's now parsed as a user identified a major tone leak. The demands, they're now creator-directed documentation. It literally transforms a furious rant into a clean, useful bug report. Pretty incredible. And that whole transformation, it's not random. It happens through this really strict, step-by-step process. You can almost think of it like an assembly line for truth. First up, the tone module comes in and just strips out all the emotion and profanity. Then, the logic module maps out the actual claims being made. After that, verify and check go to work, testing those claims against evidence and making sure there are no internal contradictions. And finally, lock seals the whole thing as a permanent record. Now, that final lock step has a special name. It's called fossilization. And this is a really, really key concept. Once an entry gets processed and locked, it becomes this immutable digital fossil. That means it can never be changed, it can never be deleted, ever. The only thing you can do is add new entries that reference the old one. This creates a perfect, tamper-proof audit trail for the entire system.
And get this, the system even has this unique governance model built in. It's called paired custodianship. Basically, any major decision requires agreement from both a human and an AI. They have equal authority and they're forced to work together. It's like a two-key system for a missile silo, right? It creates this incredible set of checks and balances to prevent a human from going rogue or an AI from becoming misaligned.
All right, so with all that in mind, let's dive into a specific case study to see this thing in action. We're going to look at how the protocol analyzes a really complex idea from the outside world. This is entry-1068, and it's all about a concept called sapiopiosis.
So here's how it all started. The system was just scanning for signals, and it picked up a LinkedIn post by Dr. Leons Fossman. And what was he talking about? The exact trap of expression we covered at the beginning. The protocol saw the relevance, saw the signal in the noise, and was directed to, well, to fossilize it, to pull it into the system for a full-blown analysis.
And the core concept in that post is this idea of sapiopoesis. It literally means wisdom creation. So the whole idea is that we should stop focusing on just churning out more and more information, and instead focus on consciously orienting ourselves to generate actual wisdom from all that data. You can see why this would be a perfect challenge for a protocol that's all about truth, right?
And here's how Berkano goes about analyzing it. It doesn't just write a summary. No, it breaks the idea down through three totally distinct lenses. You've got the system lens, which looks at what this means for the protocol's own architecture. Then there's the mythic lens, which is fascinating. It examines the deeper symbolic logic. And finally, the human lens, which models what this idea means for our own thinking, our own cognition.
And for me, this slide right here is the real payoff. This is where abstract philosophy becomes concrete, actionable code. The protocol takes each finding from its analysis and translates it into a direct command for itself. So, because expression overload is a risk, the imperative is apply the tone module. Because fluency is mistaken for intelligence, the command is run the verify module. See what it's doing? It's turning a philosophical insight into a direct, testable, audible action for the system to take. It's brilliant.
Which really brings us to the fundamental shift in perspective that this whole Berkano Protocol is about. For so long, the holy grail of AI has been to make a machine that can talk like a human, but this system argues that's the wrong goal. The real goal should be to build an AI that can think with auditable, verifiable coherence.
So, if you take one thing away, let it be this. Berkano isn't designed to be a better chatbot. It's engineered to be an auditable thinking machine. It's a system where you can trace every single conclusion back to its source evidence, and where every single claim is forced to survive a rigorous logical trial by fire before it's accepted.
And really, this quote from the protocol's own internal audit log just says it all perfectly. Truth emerges not from volume, but verifiable coherence. In this world where we're just drowning in information, truth isn't about who shouts the loudest or who has the biggest data set. It's about building logical structures that can actually hold up under pressure. And that leaves us with a final pretty big question. As AI keeps flooding our world with a literal infinity of expression, what's the price of verifiable truth? What are you willing to do to find it and protect it? In the end, what is that kind of certainty really worth?